Have you ever had a woman walk away from you, only to pop back up months later, acting nostalgic? That's not random, that's regret. Some men leave a mark so deep that women kick themselves for letting them go. If these 4 signs sound familiar, congratulations, you're the one that got away. A woman may leave, convinced she's making the right decision, only to later find herself haunted by the absence of a man who was impossible to replace. The kind of man who lingers in her thoughts, who sets a new bar so high that every other man pales in comparison. There are key traits that separate these men from the rest. And if you recognize yourself in them, then you already know. You are the kind of man she regrets losing. A man who elevates her life in ways she didn't even realize until he was gone holds a power most never attain. It's easy to exist in a relationship, to go through the motions, to offer comfort without challenge. But the man she regrets losing is the one who didn't just exist in her life. He transformed it. He pushed her to be more, to dream bigger, to demand better for herself. With him, she felt growth. He introduced her to new ideas, new experiences, and new ways of seeing the world. Maybe she started taking care of herself more, hitting the gym, focusing on her career, dressing sharper. Not because he demanded it, but because he inspired it. He was the silent force behind her evolution. And then he was gone. Now she looks around and realizes she's back to where she started. Maybe she's with a new guy. One who doesn't challenge her. One who plays it safe. One who lets her stay exactly as she is without pushing her to improve. She thought she wanted comfort, but now she realizes she craves the fire that came with the man who made her better. She watches her own stagnation, feels the absence of that silent pressure to evolve, and she knows she let go of something rare. Beyond inspiration, the man she regrets losing was her safe space without being weak. Most men fall into 2 categories. They are either emotionally unavailable, shutting down when things get hard, or they are emotionally fragile, reacting to everything she says and does with desperation. But the rarest of men, the ones who are unforgettable, offer emotional security without dependence. She could talk to him, open up to him, be vulnerable with him, and know that he would never use her emotions against her. With him, she could remove the masks she wore for the world and be her true self. And yet, he was never needy. He never begged for love. He never clung to her like a lifeline. When things ended, he let her walk away. He didn't chase. He didn't plead. And that's exactly why she regrets it. Most women expect a man to crumble when they leave. They expect him to spiral, to come crawling back, to prove to them that they were the most important thing in his life. But when he doesn't, when he simply nods, accepts it, and moves forward without a trace of desperation, that's when the regret starts to creep in. Because a man who can remain strong in the face of loss, a man who can continue thriving without her, is a man who is undeniably powerful. This is where most men fail. They believe that being a woman's emotional rock means always agreeing, always bending, always accommodating. But that's not what makes a man unforgettable. The man she regrets losing was balanced. He listened, he understood, but he never let her walk all over him. He knew when to comfort her and when to challenge her. When she tested him, he didn't fold. He stood firm. He wasn't afraid to call her out when necessary, and because of that, she respected him. And now she's dealing with men who either ignore her emotions completely or become overwhelmed by them. She remembers the security she felt with the man who knew how to handle her storms without losing himself in them. And suddenly, every other man feels weak in comparison. But the real reason regret settles in deep, he was a man with a mission beyond her. Most men make the mistake of centering their entire existence around the woman they're with. They cancel plans, they put aside their ambitions, they make her their life. And at first, she enjoys the attention. But over time, she starts to feel something she didn't expect: boredom. A woman may say she wants to be the center of a man's world, but deep down, she wants to feel like she's stepping into a life that is already thriving. The man she regrets losing was the man who had purpose. He had drive. He had something bigger than her to pursue. She was important, yes, but she was not his entire world. And that's intoxicating. When she left, she expected him to fall apart, to become another one of the men who texts late at night, who asks for another chance, who lingers in the past. Instead, he leveled up. he grew. He became even better. She checks in on him now and sees that he's in better shape, that he's winning in his career, that he's surrounded by people who admire him. And she realizes she was just one chapter in his book, not the whole story. This is where regret turns into something more painful, because she thought she was irreplaceable. She thought he would never find better. And yet, here he is, thriving, succeeding, becoming even more desirable. And the worst part, he no longer looks back. She remembers the excitement he brought into her life, the unpredictability, the emotional highs that weren't the result of drama, but of passion. Most men either play it too safe or create chaos just for the sake of attention. The man she regrets losing? He struck the perfect balance. He was consistent but never predictable. He was strong but never controlling. He was attentive but never desperate. He made her work for his attention, not through games, but through value. She had to earn her place in his life, and that made her desire it even more. Now she looks around and realizes she's with someone who never makes her feel the same level of intensity. He's there, he's kind, he's safe, but there's no spark, no challenge, no tension that makes her pulse quicken. And as much as she tries to tell herself that this new relationship is healthy, she can't ignore the truth. It's dull. The man she regrets losing made her feel alive. He didn't smother her with constant reassurance. He let her miss him. He let her wonder. He let the space between them create desire. And now, she's craving a feeling she may never find again. Because at the end of the day, regret isn't about what a man did wrong. It's about what he did so right that no one else can compare. And that's the secret most men never learn. Women don't regret losing a man because he was simply nice or because he loved them. They regret losing a man who was a standard, a man who pushed them, stabilized them, led them, and left them better than he found them. And when she realizes that finding another like him is nearly impossible, that's when regret turns into longing, into nostalgia, into a wish she'll never see fulfilled. Because while she may move on, while she may date others, while she may even convince herself she made the right choice, deep down she knows she let go of a man who was unforgettable. And that is a loss she will carry forever.